Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode, a special episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Bill Heinrich, and I'm so happy that he said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
I'm really wonderful. How are you?
As I said in the beginning, I'm fantastic, but I learned a new word for a state we can be in. It's called divine, and I would like to know everything about it after I introduced you to the audience, okay?
Great. We'll go there.
Let's do this. After achieving material success at a young age but feeling unfulfilled, you embarked on a 30-year journey of spiritual transformation to uncover the secrets to living with passion, purpose, and prosperity. Now, through years of research and experience, they share a proven blueprint for success. I think you share the blueprint that helps others break free from limitations and create a truly fulfilling life. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Bill Heinrich. This
Very
is
happy to
you.
be here.
I am happy too. My first question for you. You had success but still felt empty. What was the defining moment that pushed you toward transformation?
Um, what what pushed me to change my life was unwillingness. And my life, I had become so miserable, so chaotic, crazy, stressed, you name it, over it was just terrible. I was unwilling to live that way any longer. And I literally, this was a little over 30 years ago. It was 2 days after Christmas. I was living at Lake Tahoe and I walked out the front door to change my life and never came back. And changed everything but my name, um, and have spent the last 30 years researching the cause of that misery. And it was in the course of that that I found resources that are available, free resources that are available to anyone who can also live the way I live, which is nothing that I can describe to you because you don't have the capacity to understand it, literally. And I've been teaching this to executives, CEOs, business owners all around the world for the last 15 years. Um, and you know, it's just a phenomenal experience because the clients I work with, the one-on-one clients, I'm going to take on a couple more one-on-one clients here in the near future, but I haven't for quite a while. And the reason I haven't is because my clients don't leave; they just stay. So all of my clients right now have been with me at least 7 years. Yes, every week we meet. 7 years, right? And the reason they stay that long is because once we get past and show them the obstacles and we clear up their life, then we're into expansion. Then we're joining the universe in organic expansion. I was just on the phone before I talked to you with a client who runs a financial group. He lives in Tennessee, and he has just set up a whole new thing with another group where they're expanding. And we were talking about, I said, this is what I told you about. You're moving to a different level of wealth. You need to be energetically prepared to be there. And he's now talking about they're going to be doing, they're doing an event with NetJets and inviting people in for this event. And NetJets is going to be there. And it's just a whole new different, this literally just got off the phone. And I said, this is just so cool. And what's cool about it is it came to him. We created it. We created it. We created the vibration and attracted it in. So that's a quick overview. I don't know where we got to there. What other questions do you
Okay.
have?
So I see the transformational moment for you. You walked out the door and never got back, and you changed everything but your name. I can reveal I changed my name, by the way. But yeah, I know in the US it's really easy to do this once you made a decision. Then you talked about you are in that state or in the spiritual realm that you cannot describe with words. And even if, then I wouldn't understand. And I heard once the people who say, I understand, they don't understand
They
nothing,
don't
right?
understand. You want to know something? I give a keynote speech, and the name of the speech is My Life is Out of Control, and yours is too. And
Yes.
that's the truth for all of us. People hate to hear that because they're struggling to survive. But the problem is they're struggling in survival. I'm not surviving, I'm thriving. I don't play the surviving game, I play the thriving game. And in the thriving game, it's a totally different perspective. And the fact of the matter is, my life is out of control. So consequently, I'm going to just be right here in the present moment with you. I'm going to put energy into it because I know my energy, my thoughts and words and actions today create the bed I have to sleep in tomorrow. I'm creating my space for tomorrow today. So it's either going to be full of problems and anguish, or it's going to be something that's divine. And for me, it's going to be divine.
It is divine, and I am blessed by your presence as well. And the name of the podcast is The Inspired Choice. So you choose to be here with me and share your, I don't know, I don't want to say knowledge or wisdom or your presence. I
It's
would say you
wisdom.
share your presence.
Yeah, it's wisdom. It's not my wisdom. I'm a channel for wisdom. We are not having an intellectual conversation. I'm giving you what I get. And because I'm not bogged down, worried about everything going on out in the physical world, in fact, I ignore it. All I'm concerned about is where am I inside? What is my energy? What's my inner game? It, do I surrender? Do I understand unconditional love? Am I acting from that place for the benefit of all involved, regardless of the outcome? And that's a game changer, a big, big, big. In fact, the client I was just talking to that was telling me that he said something else happened. He's in the financial services realm. He said, I had a client the other day that called all snooty because he couldn't make his premium payment and it had been drawn from his account. His account was overdrawn and he was all upset. And he said, I did something I've never done before. I just sent him the money and said, this is a loan from me. We'll take care of it later. And he said, I learned that from you, Bill. It's like, just be responsible. Don't let the energy of that hang on to me for the next 3 weeks. Just come in and clean it up and move forward. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal if you don't clean it up. It's a big deal if you say, well, you didn't handle it right. You're telling the client because the client didn't handle it right. He didn't do it right. The client is having problems right now. But when people have problems, they see themselves as the victim and they point their fingers because they think the problem is outside of them when it's inside them.
Yes, it is inside them. And I'm happy that you mentioned this because I had a conversation right yesterday about that. And it was not a podcast interview. So I assume it can also, however, we act from the subconscious mind. Okay, but this is not enough. We have intuition. We can talk
Mm-hmm.
about intuition. So I think when the I don't know when the money was sent, then it came by intuition with because otherwise it would not have been divine, right? Guided, like
Mm-hmm.
guided. So this was the right thing, even or because it seemed illogical for the rational mind, for the conscious mind, whatever. So you
Mm-hmm.
had to do this. It was like an impulse, and you have to act on this impulse. And then,
Well,
yeah,
you don't have to. You can choose to.
yeah,
And
but you know what
many,
happened?
many people get the impulse and they don't choose to. They ignore the impulse. Believe me, I know thousands of people like that.
Yes, but you know what happens when you don't act on your impulses, then bad
Hmm.
things are happening. And this is
You,
when you go
you.
over that.
So here's the truth.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes,
you're familiar with chakras, right?
a little bit. Yes.
Okay, so we have 7 chakras.
Hmm.
7 energy centers in our body, starting from our groin area, coming all the way up to our crown chakra on the top of our head. These are energy centers. This this energy flows to us. So let me explain. First of all, when you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, you're not seeing you. What you're seeing is a physical manifestation of your energy in that moment. Your energy is you, not what you see in the mirror, because what you see in the mirror changes over time. It's always in a constant state of change because of the energy. So it's all about an energetic equation. And if you don't understand this energy, it comes, and if it isn't handled and understood, then it shows up in your life in a negative way. It causes you to do things that sabotage and hurt yourself. And I when I was miserable, it's like, why the hell am I doing this? Like I know I'm not that kind of person, but I act out and I do this and I do this, and like this doesn't make sense. What is going on? It made no sense to me. And it was the energy, like when it rains, if it rains 10 inches of water, the water has to go somewhere. The water is going to flow somewhere. So is your energy. And if it doesn't flow out in the manner in which it's intended, it's going to flow out in a negative way.
Yes, absolutely. And when you don't act the first time, with the lessons, then the
Mhm.
lessons come back and bring their friends, so it
Oh,
gets
yeah.
worse.
And they sneak up behind you and they bang you in the back of the head, is what they do. And if you don't hear it that time, they go get bigger friends.
Yes, I had to learn this lesson recently. So I'm
Mhm.
familiar with that, and thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing. I learned so much as well. I have so many questions. I
fire.
forgot. So yeah, I'm interested in, mm, I don't know if yeah, you talked about manifestation, right? When you look in the mirror, then when you look in the mirror, you are 8 years old or 80, you stay the same, but the image changes, right? The
Mhm,
reflection, or so to say. And you said it's because of your energy field
mhm.
or reflected or manifest. So you use the word manifestation. And what I'm learning right now is about, I don't know if I can say it that way, that we are always the manifestation for other people as well.
What do you mean when you say that?
Yeah, it's complicated, right? Because I try to
No,
understand it. So no,
no.
I mean it's complicated for in my words. I can do it easier.
Oh, see.
What I mean
Uh-huh.
is when I think so when you have been conditioned that you don't want to deceive anyone, or
Mhm,
you are a people pleaser, for example, and then and
mhm.
then you change that because you have to deceive, you have to say no to something, whatever. Then it is also the manifest. This no is the manifestation for the other person. Yeah.
Um, no,
No.
no, no. The no, um, is a new experience the other person is having. They didn't manifest it. You've manifested it through choice, and the reason you've chosen it is because when you were with them and acting that way, you saw a mirror of yourself in them. When they were talking, you're talking to somebody. Whatever you see, whatever's in front of you is you. The world's a mirror. So, like I had a client join my group coaching, very nice woman, very, very nice woman. And she got in, and there's a bunch of people in the group. So I said to her, "So, Diana, what's going on in your life? Like, what problems do you have?" And she went, "Well, right now, my husband." "Oh, really? Tell me about it." "Well, he does this, he did this and it aggravated that." I said, "Really?" She went on, told me all about it. I said, "Now I want you to sit back and take a deep breath." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because what you described isn't your husband, that's you. And she went, oh my God, like that's you. And so she's been in my group now 3 years, I think. And she tells that story and she says, I have the most incredible relationship now. It's amazing because I changed how I see things. So, one of the things that I teach people is the universe runs everything, and there's only one problem with the universe. There is one problem with it that most people don't recognize. And that problem is how you see the universe. The universe is perfect. How you see it isn't.
Yes.
When something
Mm.
happens that you don't like, the universe is moving energy. That's all it's doing. Energy, vibration is just a vibration. And it manifests in, like you said, that other person. And now you say no, then they're pissed off now. They're like, well, why are you doing that? You always did it before. It's like, well, I've made a different choice now. Well, and then they blame you, right? But
Yeah.
see, they don't have the capacity to see the clarity that you've gotten. And what you've done is you've made a choice of realizing you don't have to live that way anymore. You've expanded your capacity to live with more love.
Oh, that was that was big. This was big. And also what you said before about you when you said you always describe yourself. So that means there's only myself. There are no
Mhm.
other people. We are all one.
There's nobody else in the world.
Yeah, but and that is scary because I thought about I thought about that. Okay, next question. What about
Well,
when I
wait,
realized
wait. I want you to recognize what's happening to you,
yes,
okay? Because the world's a mirror.
yes.
So what's the mirror that's in front of you now in this moment? This is who you true what you're recognizing in me is you.
It is scary. It is the scariest episode ever with myself. Goodness.
You're a
I'm really
divine being. You're the same as me.
mm,
You've just been too fixated on what's going surviving in the physical, when in fact your soul is screaming, no, let's go to a higher vibration.
okay. Can you tell me? So when I think about thinking is survival mode. When I think about
Yes, you're right. That's
mm,
thinking so good. the
but
three word the three worst words I could ever say is I was thinking. Then I
yeah.
know I'm in trouble.
Okay, let me reframe this.
No, that's
No,
okay. I'm just sharing that with you.
I just have a question about when you said, okay, there's only myself, right? Divine being,
Mhm.
etc., etc. And then I have when I think about this, then I have the feeling, oh, I feel lonely because if there's only me, then I feel lonely. What can I do about that?
You can learn to love yourself.
Okay.
Self love is not selfish. And if you have self love, you'll never feel lonely. You'll always feel enough.
The best podcast episode ever. Now I'm touched. Or do we say this? Like, I don't know. Thank you so much. I learned my lesson.
Part of it. There's more.
Yeah, there's more. I prepared for the reptile brain, I prepared questions. So we
We'll fire a few
can,
more. What other questions do you have?
yeah. What is the biggest mistake people make when searching for purpose and how can they course correct?
Okay. The biggest mistake they make is they think their purpose is what they do.
Mm.
No, absolutely not. It's not what you're doing. Your purpose is who you're being. Who are you being with your thoughts, words, and actions? That's your purpose. You can apply that whether you're a podcast host, you're a garbage man, you're a CEO. It's all about who you're being.
Yeah, that means it doesn't matter, or it is fundamentally meaningless what I do.
Yeah. It doesn't matter at all.
So that means
I
when
never,
people Mhm.
I never, it matters what I do because I live with free will and choice, but it's
Mhm.
how I do it that matters. And the results don't matter. It's how I respond to them.
Yes, I wanted to ask when people have goals like I say
Mhm.
material goals like
Mhm.
houses or
Yeah.
$1,000,000, whatever. So it
Yeah.
would you say it comes from a lack a mindset of lack or scarcity or survival?
A total survival. Yeah.
Mhm. Really?
And you used another word there that is one of the things that hurts people more than anything else in their search for their purpose, and that's mindset. Mindset does not work. Mindset is no good because your mind can only research your past. Your mind has no creativity. Your mind always goes to your past experience. And if you're set, then you're fixed. So you're in the past and you're fixed, which means you're in resistance. When the universe is in organic expansion, all you have to do is lay down and go with the flow. Then you're in the flow. Mindset, no good.
Yes, and
But
I
people
love
use words like that because they want to sound spiritual. They want to sound, they do yoga, they do all these things, and it's great. I'm happy for them, but they're lost. They're doing the best they can. You know. What other
Mhm.
questions?
I would say, yeah, mindset is what is set in your mind, yes, and maybe it can be good for to start somewhere and then you can
It's
develop
no,
not?
no. It's no, no,
Mhm.
no. Stay away from it. It's good. Like today, I've got to shoot some videos
Mhm.
that I'm going to be using on social media. So prior to doing that, I'm going to use mindset for an hour or two. That's my commitment. My mindset is my commitment for that 2 hours, and I'm not letting anything else in. I am fixed. I'm going to take care of it. I won't be interrupted. And then when I'm done, I'm back in the flow again.
Yes.
See,
Mhm.
so you can use mindset for a very short period of time to accomplish something, but they talk about mindset. You talked about goals. When you have a goal, I want you to think about this.
Yeah.
When you have a goal for a new home or for $1 million, okay, that is going to control your life because the decisions you make, the things you say, what you do is to get that. That's not you. That's what you want. That's what you're changing your life for. Now, you can set an intention and you can go get the same thing with energy, which allows you to flow, which allows it to flow into you, and you don't have to compromise yourself or be in survival.
That's the best answer. No, thank you so much because yeah, I don't explain what I did the last 3 years, okay? But the
Well,
podcast thing
yeah.
is really my I don't know, purpose or it was
Hmm.
guided and this is my passion as well. So I'm very grateful.
Hmm.
And I had to do the 680 interviews before I was ready to talk to you. So thank you so much. Okay, of course I have another question. You've spent nearly 30 years researching fulfillment. What's one life-changing insight that anyone can apply today?
Here's the most important one. Do not be defensive about anything. There is nothing to protect. You see, first of all, there's only two emotions. That's it in life. There's only two emotions, no more. Love and fear. That's it. Everything comes from those. Jealousy, anger, it all comes from fear. On the other side, you have love. Now, fear, your heart can feel fear, but your heart cannot create fear. It's not possible. Only your head. And to create fear, you have to go to your past. You can't create fear in the present moment. Right now, you're in the present moment with me and you have no fear in your life whatsoever. You're sitting here enthralled by what you're hearing and you're present and you're connected to me. There's no fear. Everything's perfect. This is the way the universe works. If we want to get into fear, we have to go to the past. So your head protects you and creates fear. You can only create fear in your physical life. You can't create fear in your non-physical life. It's not possible. You can only create love expansion over there. That's it. And you can create whatever you desire in the non-physical part of your life. So there's words that support it, and the words that support your non-physical life, you can say the words. I'll tell you some of the words. You'll be familiar with these, but you can't describe any of them to me. I'll tell you some words in your physical life and you can describe them. For instance, money is in our physical life. We know what it looks, smells, and feels like. But in our non physical life, it isn't money, it's abundance. What does abundance look like?
I don't know because abundance can be an
It's
abundance
a
of bad things or an abundance of gold. Yeah.
it's a state of being. It could never be bad things. You can't abundantly have bad things. It's
No,
not possible.
of
Oh
course.
no, because you can't think with abundance and see evil. When you think with abundance, you don't see evil, you have gratitude. What does gratitude look like? What does love look like? What does peacefulness look like? We don't know. They manifest from our being and we see them in the moment. We see them like love in a moment. I had a conversation with my granddaughter last week where we shared something that was very loving, and she looked at me and the love in her eyes, and it was a special moment. That's what it looked like in that moment. But we don't know what it looks like. You can't describe them.
Mm.
So you want to look for those. Those are powerful words. Power. What does power look like? Power is a state of being. In the physical, what people call power is actually force.
Okay.
I'm going to take control. You see the difference in those?
Yes, there's a great book from David R. Hawkins, Power
Oh,
versus.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, I feel it. Okay, you have those abstract words like abundance and power and gratitude. We cannot describe, we can feel it, right, with our heart.
You can only feel it. Yeah.
And then we
You
have
can.
all those fear things. Mhm.
Mhm. That aren't real. Do you know in your life? Here's another one for you. Get ready.
Yes,
In your life, there's only one thing that's true, and nothing else is true. There's only one thing,
and that is
and that
me.
that is how you feel. Nothing else is true. The story that creates the feeling isn't even true. because the story that creates the feeling has been inside you for decades. And now, because you fed it energy, it's all embellished and out of whack. And it's just, that's why people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, thinking you're going to get a different. It's the only thing that's true is how you feel. And it's your feelings that creates your energy,
Yes. My energy to move.
your energy to be, the
Okay.
energy to be who you are.
The energy to be?
It's about being, not doing.
Mhm.
See, you're doing the podcast, but the reason you do the podcast is you're realizing you like who you're being during the podcast.
Yes.
Is that true?
I am my authentic self. And yesterday I learned that authenticity is 4 times more powerful than gratitude or something. Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's also BS, you would say.
no, no, no.
No.
I would say it's even more powerful than that.
Mhm.
You see, because the only way you can be authentic is when you're being. You can't be authentic when you're doing. It's not possible. It isn't possible because then you're taking an action to get an anticipated or expected result. And when you're doing that, what you're doing is you're taking, you're not giving. When you work with an expectation, you're taking. And this is the way people give. They give to others to get a response. They don't give with unconditional love. Here it is, goodbye. No, they want that response. And that's not giving, that's called taking. There's
Yes.
an there's an anticipated return for that. That's not giving.
They are looking for approval
Yeah,
or
exactly.
validation. I learned that. It's
Yeah,
another word.
yeah. And it isn't validation they're actually looking for. There's another word for it. It's the only way that they can consider that someone else loves them. They're looking for love. They see that as love because they don't love themselves.
Mm.
I lived that way for many, many, many years. Now that I love myself, I could care less what anybody thinks about me. Anybody listening to this podcast can say whatever they want. They can send me it doesn't matter
Mm.
because I love myself and I'm speaking from truth. And I realize that most people don't have the capacity to really take in and understand what I say because it's too overwhelming. It's too they can't it's just too good. Like, how could this be?
Yes, it is too good. And most of the people are listening to prepare their next reply, so to say, the next answer or
Yeah,
the next
yeah, yeah.
question.
Right.
They are
Yeah,
not listening to just listen and to
right.
understand. I
Yeah.
learned this as well.
Mhm.
And it is about, yeah, the present moment. And when you said, when you face the people with the truth, and they are resisting, then it is because they are in denial.
Yeah. Well, the reason, the reason they're in denial is what I spoke about our heart and our head. Anything in the physical that comes from your head, you're going to be in protection. You're going to protect yourself. And the reason you protect yourself is because if they hear something from me that's different than the way they see life, they immediately go to right and wrong. And there's no such thing as right and wrong. There's only experiences and vibrations. That's it. So they look and they go, if he's right, I'm wrong. So he must be wrong because I live a good life. I have a nice car. I have a wife. I do this. I do this. It isn't about that. There's no such thing as right and wrong. That's why people protect themselves. That's why they prepare the answer while you're talking because they have to protect their point of view. They
Yes.
can't, everybody's different. And the reason we're different is because we each have different energy. Everybody's energy is completely different.
Yes.
Because of that, be open-minded. You'll learn something. You don't have to agree, but you do have to expand your awareness, because when you expand your awareness, then you have more choices. If you don't expand your awareness, then you're in a state of protection and you're living with very tight boundaries. The boundaries on our ignorance are so close. We are imbeciles. We are so stupid, myself included, because we like this, and you've got this universe that all these amazing things are happening, and we don't understand that that's what runs the earth. When you look at the universe, you can't even see the earth.
Mm.
It's not even a pinhead. The universe runs everything.
It's a speck of dust, someone said.
Oh, maybe, maybe smaller,
Mhm.
maybe smaller. Yeah. What other questions?
Okay. I have another question was guided. If you could go back and give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
That it would be explaining how incredibly powerful we are, how unique we are, how we each have a very unique gift to share with the world, a very unique gift. And every one of our gifts are different. And Rumi has a saying that says, you have a unique gift to share with the world, which is your purpose. And every person in the world has a place of desire in their heart to hear about it.
Every person on the world. Wow. And we are always right in the moment where we are, like
Mm-hmm.
we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank me, because I mean, there's only me.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't dare to ask the questions, the earthly questions, about your goals, your own mentors, or where we can find you when people want to reach out
I'm
to you.
my website is, you know, the thing you have to understand is we have to make certain that we aren't so spiritual that we're of no earthly use. So the purpose of this energy is to let it flow onto the earth and allow others to learn about it, because I'm here in physical form. I have lessons to learn. I'm not perfect. I'm just like you. We're exactly the same. We're exactly the same. We've just had different experiences.
Yes.
And those experiences and our lessons in life are what have shaped our perceptions of who we are and what we see today. So yeah, my website is True Life Purpose Now, truelifepurposenow.com. And it's today, the day of the podcast. Today's February 20th. It's been under construction. It will be up and running within the next 2 or 3 days. So if somebody happens, I don't know when the podcast is going out. I don't know if it's live or what's going on. If somebody went today, they won't find my website because we just rebuilt the whole thing. So it'll be up in by the weekend, the next few days.
Okay, I put the links in the show notes, of course. Thank
Hmm.
you so much for our interview. Yes. And I would like to ask you about your coaches and mentors. Do you have or had coaches for yourself? And who was the best coach or mentor you ever had?
Um, the single thing that made the most had the most effect um, on my life was Deepak Chopra's book, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. It's a phenomenal book. When I walked away from my life, about 6 months after walking away from my life, somebody gave me that book. And what I was looking for was to live life with no doctrine. I had been brought up in a very strict religious family. I wanted no doctrine. In other words, I wanted to know, who am I? How can I make choices just for me and be a good person? I don't I don't want a religious figure telling me what to do. I don't want just me. And it came from that book. And in that book, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, they're actually the seven laws that run the universe that he's writing about. And in there, what I did is each day, I did this for years, is every day I read one. I started on Sunday and read the first one, excuse me, and then went a week. The first one says, we are pure potentiality. Now think about that. We're pure potential. That means we can be whatever we desire. We have the power to create anything we desire. That's how powerful we are. And then he goes on to explain the other elements you need to add to that that will allow you to create the life of your dreams. So that is the thing that really changed my life. Many other things in my coaching groups now, I'm teaching, you know, like I'm a business coach, but I never talk business ever. There's no need, because when you understand who you are, you know what choice to make. You know what to do. Once you understand your energy, you know what to do. And I've been doing this a long time. Um, and the other thing, when somebody goes to my website, I'm starting a 5-day life purpose challenge. That's free. Anybody can take it. There'll be 5 videos, something for you to do every day that will allow you to create your own blueprint to your life path, to your life purpose. In that program, I'll have that available. We'll probably be starting it next week. And that'll be at my website, True Life Purpose Now. It's called the 5-Day Life Purpose Challenge. Um, and it goes, um, gosh, I don't have the titles of everything in front of me, but we start with what is purpose on the first day, and on the 5th day, then I teach you about the power of love. Um, it's about reframing expectations. It's it's a very powerful 5-day program that people can do. They do on their own. They go in, there's about a 10-minute video you watch, and then there's a sheet you download, and then there's an affirmation for each day that you can say to yourself. Um, there's some questions for you to contemplate and answer, and you do it at your own self pace. If you want to do it in 5 days or you want to do one a week, whatever, I don't care. It's up to you. Um, and then at the end, actually, there's a 6th video that's a bonus of a whole new topic about peak potential. How to get into your peak potential is in the final one, which I did as a bonus. So I'm sure, Caroline, you'd like to do that. I'll make sure that you have the information about it. It's fascinating because it'll really help you become more aware. And it's, you know, you don't make change, you just create awareness, because awareness allows you to make better choices. Like you've been talking about the things you've learned, And because of that, you're making different choices, aren't you? You talked about not um, this person that you're getting away from because they're taking too much. They're
Mm.
taking your energy.
Mhm.
This isn't the energy you want. That's a powerful choice. That's a choice. And one other one, this is a good one, is never make another decision, ever. Never make another decision. Only make choices.
Oh, wow.
Just say, I need to make a decision and say, I'm going to make a choice. Tell me which one feels better.
Yeah, about the choice, because for years I was thinking about decision, and then I stopped. I implemented the word choice. Now it feels better. You can choose
You're
today.
claiming you're
Yeah.
claiming your power. Yeah.
And
You're
tomorrow you choose something else. Yeah.
you can choose whatever you want. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
You're free.
Yes.
We're the only ones we're the only ones in the universe and on earth that have free will and choice, but we don't use it. We get locked down in survival and we give up free will and choice. People say, well, what does that mean? Here's what it means. I do what I want, when I want, with who I want, anytime I want. Period. I live by free will and choice. I am here with you with free will and choice. And I'm responsible for the choices I make to show up on time. These are choices that continue to support my growth and help support other people's growth. That's free will and choice.
Yes, that's the best thing we can aim
That's
for.
absolutely. There's another word for it. Freedom.
Yes, freedom.
Total freedom.
Yes.
I told you we were going to have a wild interview.
Oh, yes, it was really good. Thank you so much. And I hope I know you enjoyed it too. Yes, I see it. I
Oh,
feel
well,
it. Oh,
it's, just to help people improve their lives. That is my purpose. My
mhm.
purpose is to empower you so you can go empower others.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do this. This is the Inspired Podcast. Thank you so much for our interview. And now is time, please, for your final thoughts to the audience.
um, Remember this, that self-love is not selfish. You can't give away what you don't have. So many people play with intellectual love. They think they love, but they aren't really using their hearts. And when you are, you can't be hurt. Intellectual love, you get hurt all the time. So self-love isn't selfish. It's the same as when you're on a plane and they say, if the mask comes down and you need oxygen, put yours on before you put on your children's. Like you have to. People are trying to give away what they haven't got, and the more self-love you have, the more you will want, and the more you will give. It completely changes your life.
Yes. And self love is something we can give to ourselves.
Mhm.
You said it before, and fear is something we cannot, how was the word? It's not created by us.
No, it's created by the stories inside us,
Mhm.
stories and beliefs that don't serve us. And the only way you're going to know is based on how you feel. You won't know logically. You have to go by how you feel. And when you feel that way, there's a story go see what the story is and change it. Write a new story.
Great advice. Thank you so much. I'm not rewriting the podcast because it was brilliant. Thank you so much for our
Thank you.
interview. And I see
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. My pleasure. And I see you in the next episode.